This is it, guys. We've achieved it. Peak Charmander hunting. Look at this. I go up the stairs. Charmander appears. I go down the stairs. Charmander disappears. No more green border. All the speed and efficiency of the other isolation method. None of the downsides. We're still getting like 1,000 Charmanders per hour. This is the improved isolation method. Now, this is just a quick update video to show you how to set this up and what you can do with it. You can actually use it to hunt Charmander and Tepig at the same time, same level of efficiency, using a slight change to the setup from what you're seeing here. But, you know, I've kind of got the brain rot. I don't want shiny pigs. I only want to see shiny manders. So I'm going to get right into the setup. We're not going to cover any of the overloading stuff. If you want to see that, like everything you could ever want to know is in the last video. But this one's just a little update because this is too good not to share, guys. So when we're setting up for isolation, we want to make sure that we are on a fresh day. So I'm going to hit the bench to start so that I'm on a full day, because the amount of time it takes us to set up the isolation, whatever's left of the day, is how much time we have to do runbacks before we have to soft reset. Because if the night rolls over while we're doing isolation, all the positions of the Pokemon will reset, and then we've got to do this isolation setup again. The other thing you need to have done before you do this particular isolation is you need to have the south spawner, which I have marked with the green pin. That's the center of the south spawner. It's the one by Centrico Plaza. There's 4 spawns there. You need to have that overloaded to 4. So if you already know how to do that, then you're ready to pick this up. If you don't know how to do that, watch my previous guide. It shows how to overload the west spawner and the south spawner to their maximum of 4 and 3. The west spawner, you want to have that only at 1. You could have it at more. You could start from 7. And then in that case, you'd want to like KO a couple of the guys, so you only have 1 here. But you need to have the south spawner at 4. So I need to reset the aggro, so I'm going to pop out the door, and then I'm going to fly to zone 20. Never fly to Centrico Plaza when you have the south spawn maxed at 4, because you probably will lose a spawn. The only way to preserve the 4 spawns at the south spawner is to fly directly to zone 20. That's going to drop you here at the east gate. And then you're going to pop in the east gate. You're going to run up this grassy path here on the side, and this will preserve all 4 of your spawns. Now we're looking for a particular configuration of our Pokemon here. So Charmander being at the lamppost there, that's a bad configuration. So since we just auto-saved when we did the fast travel, we can reset. All right, so we've gotten the good configuration. We've got one of the fire starters back here by the tree, and we've got the other fire starter here by the rock. And then our Hippo and our Lucario are taking up the other 2 locations. And then our spawn down here really doesn't matter unless it's in this spot. And if it is, you can just KO it. So now that we've got the whole situation set up, we just have to lose aggro. So Charmander's got to go back where he was. And then just to make sure you've got your distances right, you want to put a pin in the same place that I have. That is the origin for this spawner. So once you're within 50 meters of that pin, that's when the new spawns are going to happen. And then once you get far enough away, you can visually see, yeah, right at about 64, we saw Tepig and Charmander disappear. And then we go back up to 49. And we've got a new Tepig, new Charmander every time we do this. And it's equally fast to set this up as a double isolation as it is to do a single isolation. The only reason you would do a single isolation is if you wanted to only hunt 1 Pokemon and never get another shiny. If you've got 5 shiny Tepigs and 2 alphas and you only want Charmander and you only want to reset Charmander, then you can set up a single isolation. And the only difference for a single isolation is you take all the Pokemon you don't want and you lure them down here into the ditch and save, so that they never aggro you and they stay down here. And then you can just do the single isolation on the Pokemon that you want. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to get it set up here. But if you truly don't care about the single isolation, then you are ready to go. All you got to do is pop out the door here, make a save, and then you just start doing your run loops just like this. You can see the guys popping in and out. We're getting new Tepigs and new Charmanders every time. And then once your daytime runs out, you're just going to soft reset back to that save. Now, if you do catch a shiny, we'll have to reset up the 4 overload on the south spawner, which is always the same steps. You're just luring 1 Pokemon at a time, getting it back up to 4 spawns. And then you just get a fresh day, reset for the configuration that lets you do this isolation loop. And then boom, you're back to hunting at full speed. So it's really, really easy. It's actually surprisingly convenient. I can't believe it took me an extra day or two to figure it out. But here we are, hunting at maximum efficiency. But just for the sake of completeness, I'm going to show you what a single isolation would look like and where I would put the Pokemon so that they don't interfere with you and you get a clear visual of the target you're looking for. All right, there we go. I finished setting it up. I've got the other Tepig, Charmander, Lucario, and Hippo down there in the ditch so they don't bother me anymore. My Charmander's still over there under the tree. And now I never have to worry about getting another shiny other than Charmander again. Every time the game decides that it wants to give me a shiny, it's going to be Charmander and nothing else. I never have to worry about getting aggroed. I got a nice clear visual on him every time he pops in. And this was the original version that I came up with. And then Nightmarch in my Discord hit me up. He goes, yo, you know, you don't even have to like lure the guys into the ditch. You can just leave the guys in place as long as you drop aggro. Like, you can just do the double ISO and it's just as fast. And I'm like, oh, you're right. But I thought I'd include this just because some people out there get a little superstitious about having two different mods being reset at the same time. It's like, you know, I'm just never going to get I'm never going to get the Pokemon I want if I have anything else on screen that can possibly be shiny. So this is for the people out there who have the nice, deep, advanced shiny hunter brain rot. Now I can already hear the questions in my comments like, oh, can you set this up for Totodile? Can you set this up for Squirtle? Can you set this up for Chikorita? And the answer is, yeah, you definitely can. It's just a matter of finding out the spacing. It might not be a case where just one configuration of the mods with no luring is enough to set it up. So the general principles of like luring all the other Pokemon except for the one you want out of the way, closer to you, so that when you're doing these run loops, they don't despawn. Only the guy that you want is despawning. That's really the crux of this method, is just finding a particular situation, finding a particular location relative to all of the mons and their spawn origin that lets you do this little run back loop without getting aggroed, without despawning anything else, just leaving that one Pokemon in place so that you can hunt it as fast as is literally possible in the game. This is faster than fly spam, faster than soft resetting. If the Pokemon that you want is only a single encounter, you're not beating this, man. I know a short video like this is a little bit out of character for me. I don't usually do just like quick update videos, but considering I just made the massive guide on this covering all the principles of, you know, spawn overloading in the fire area, it didn't really make sense to do it all again with a slightly different ending. But this is good enough tech and information that I felt like everybody deserved to know. There seems to be a pretty strong cohort of Legends ZA players obsessed with Charmander like me. I'll throw a clickable link to the bigger guide up on screen right now, as well as the other video I made on spawn overload that covers some of the other places in game that you can do spawn overloading. That'll do it for me for today. Next time you see me, it'll probably be live here on YouTube doing exactly this. Thanks for watching, you guys. Peace.